So we're going to look at identifying the key attributes required for a fullback, identify the roles and responsibilities of a fullback in possession and out of possession as well. So a bit of background about myself, UEFA coach, currently assistant manager at Reading City, Step 7, and then owner of MO Football Coaching. So the role of a fullback, essentially in a back four, will either be a right back or a left back. Not only will they defend, but they'll also be required to support attacks by making overlap or underlapping runs with the wingers. Okay, essentially they balance their roles between defense and attack, contributing significantly at both ends of the pitch. So with the modern day now, with the background I've got of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robinson, they're very, very potent and known for, over the last 3 to 4 years, of really being real game changers in regards to being a real outlet, of being a right back and a left back as well. So here are some examples of where you'll find the fullback. So we've got a 1-4-3-3 formation. So you'll have a right back, the number 2, and then a left back will be the number 3 in this formation. Another example in a 4-4-2. So again, you've got a right back, and then you've also got a left back as well, who will be the number 3, and then you've got the 2 centre midfielders, and then the right winger and left winger. And then in a 3-5-2 formation, you'll have a right wing back being a number 7, and then a left wing back being a number 11. In possession, they may look like a back 3, and then out of possession, they will look like a back 5. So a back 3 into a back 5. So just some examples here. Okay, if we look at this screenshot, we have Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's predominantly now in that attacking wing back position. So you look at he's on the ball looking to cross into the box with Jota. So as a right back, you can see how high up the pitch he is in possession. Really probably taking up a space where predominantly a right winger will be. And then in this clip here, you then have Salah, who is then inverted as a winger. And then therefore the space for Trent Alexander-Arnold to get across into the box and to aim for his teammate Jota. Another shot here. Okay, you now have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is predominantly a right back, but in possession now. He's now inverted. So he's now an inverted fullback with the modern day football now. Majority of the sides, most notably Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, are opting to invert their fullbacks to create that midfield overload in the build-up phase. As you can see here, you have the 2 centre-backs, and then you have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's a right back. He's now playing as one of the 3 centre midfielders, which then pushes up the midfielders into the attacking phase. Later on in the coaching masterclass, I'll get the tactics board out and we'll look at how that looks like in real time. So roles and responsibilities of a fullback. So I'm going to go through just some roles and responsibilities. Firstly, I'm going to start off with a right back, the number 2, in possession. So in possession, their aim is to provide width and depth, hold the width during the build-up phase in possession, combined with the 5, 4, and 8, and 7. These roles and responsibilities are based on a 4-3-3 formation. So if you're number 2, the right side, you're often going to be combining with the 5, centre-back number 5, the right side is centre-back, the holding midfielder in the number 4, and then the right side is centre midfielder in the 8, and then your right winger, who will be the 7. Again, I'll illustrate it on the tactics board as we go through the webinar. Their aim is to provide underlap and overlapping runs. So underlapping runs meaning to run on the inside, overlap to run on the outside in relation to where the ball is. Their aim is, or their role is to provide crosses, cutbacks, through balls from wide areas. Progress forward with the ball. So that means dribbling, driving into space with the ball. Compete in aerial duels from open play and defensive set pieces. Out of possession will look like essentially marking opposition players. So if we're looking at matched up a 4-3-3 versus a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, they will mark the opposition's left winger. So they're number 11. Again, communicate with a 5, 4, 8, and 7 as their unit and partners. Get ball side and goal side, so to be ball side and goal side to protect the goal when out of possession. Force play out wide, so their aim as a fullback is to force the play outside. Some to provide 2v1 overloads when defending with the 5 and the 7. Again, in the next slide, I've got some video footage of Jules Koundé, which will pick out most and some, if not most of these, but some of the roles and responsibilities in possession, out of possession for a number 2 right back. Cut off balls, cut off direct balls down the touchline, and then ultimately defend 1v1. So as a fullback, when you're matched up with a left winger or right winger, it's how good are you defending 1v1, aiming to force play out wide where possible, and then compete aerially as well. So the next slide now, I'm just going to look at the number 3. So similar roles and responsibilities, just opposite ends. So if you're a left back, aim again to provide width and depth. You'll look to combine with the 6, so the left side of centre back, the holding midfielder, the number 10 and the number 11 in the build-up fade. Again, provide underlap and overlaps on the other side, on the left side. Similar, provide cutbacks, crosses through balls from wide areas. Progress forward with the ball into space. So again, dribbling, driving into space. And again, competing with aerial duels from open play. Okay. Again, similar to the number 2, the left back, number 3 will look to mark the wide players, defend 1v1 from wide areas, defend crosses into the box, intercept passes from wide areas. Again, combined with a 10, who will predominantly be the left-sided centre midfielder in a 4-3-3 formation. Get ball side, goal side, force play outside, force play out wide, or inside if there's an overload on your team. Predominantly, you want to force play away from the goal, force them off the pitch, away from danger where possible. Cut off balls direct from the touchline. Provide 2v1 overloads when defending with the 6 and the 7, and then defend 1v1. So from the clip that we're going to watch now, it was a game earlier on in the season. As you can see, some of the stats are quite interesting to see. Nicholas Williams didn't have a chance against Jules Koundé. He had 0 out of 5 crosses. He only had 12 passes, 0 long balls, 50% dribbling success, 0 shots on target, and lost possession 19 times. So we're just gonna have a little watch of some of his clips. So I'm just gonna let it play, and then once I let it play, we'll unpick some of the best bits from it. So we'll have a little go at having a look at that again. So from the clip now, so where if we look at it now, Jules Koundé, as I'm saying about supporting, you've got Rafinha here, the right-sided winger, and then who have you got here? Is that Yamal? Yeah. So looking at blocking across. Another clip here. So as you can see here, open up in the attacking phase. Sorry, mine's gone blank. Cool. Right, I'm gonna start and just run the clip again. Sorry about that. So as you can see here, providing that cover, so going from a right back into a centre back. Okay, you can see Nicholas Williams on his left-hand side. He's very aware. He's playing the way he's facing, passes the ball back to the goalkeeper to then start the attack. You can see here the positioning. So again, you've got Nicholas Williams here on his right side. Then you've got another striker here. He's positioned himself in between both of them, Jules Koundé, to read the ball. And then to intercept and start the attack. Again, 1v1 situation. As you can see, the key here is Jules Koundé's body shape. So he's not square, he's not standing square, he's side on, okay, blocking him, try and force him to these areas out wide. In terms of a left-sided player on the right side, a left-sided player who is right-footed predominantly wants to try and cut in. Wants to try and cut in on the right and get across or get a shot. His body shape here, he's side on, watching him, not diving in, jockeying, facing out 1v1, forcing Nicholas Williams to either misplaced pass, misplaced cross, and then win the ball. As you can see, predominantly he wants to cut in. You'll notice now his body shape then turns the other way. They now then find themselves in a 2v1 situation because you now have his teammate who's helping him out. And then as you go, he gets a shot off away, gets the ball. So again, now in the right back phase, just on the halfway line, he's looking for a ball over the top. So as we said about combining with the 5 or combining with the 8 or combining with the 7 in this phase here. And then finds a pass. 1-2, but it just trickles out. Then over here, again, the timing, the anticipation, again, Nico Williams is behind him. Okay, the anticipation as the ball's coming for Jules Koundé to win the ball and then to compete aerially to intercept the pass. And again, he finds himself now in the centre-back position. So there's been a bit of a rotation. You have the centre-back who's now the right-back. They've swapped positions. Again, Nico Williams wants to cut in. Okay, and we're looking at Jules Koundé. Can he get blocks? Can he get interceptions for his team? And he gets a block off. And again, on the replay, block. And again, we can now see how aggressive Jules Koundé is. So again, as a right fullback, depending how your team wants to play, if you want to press quite high and quite aggressive with your winger, you can see how aggressive he's been, not allowing Nico Williams to turn and have space, okay, and wants to try and win the ball high up the pitch. So he's right on him, being physical to then win a throw-in. And then playing the ball forwards into his teammate. So this then leads me on to the key attributes. So the key attributes for a fullback, first and foremost, have that high level of fitness. Okay, as you're going from the defensive third into the midfield third into the attacking third, you really need high level of fitness, good fitness levels, good stamina to last the duration of the match. Again, be good in your 1v1 defending, as we saw in the clip previous. Yeah, communication skills with the defensive and the midfield unit. So we saw Jules Koundé have to communicate in terms of maybe in a transition, he might have been a centre back or he might have found himself in a right wing position. So making sure that you're communicating with your defensive unit. Receiving skills to play forwards. So if we're receiving it on the half term, if we're receiving it back to goal or facing to go forwards, receiving open body shape, receiving it on the half turn to play forwards where possible. Overlap, underlap runs. So that how we saw in the first photo of Trent Alexander-Arnold, where he found himself high up the pitch making an overlap run. Salah went on the inside to then get a crossing. And in being physically strong in duels. So again, we saw the clip with Jules Koundé versus Nico Williams, being physically strong in duels. And then the quality to create and provide crosses. So as a fullback, you'll find yourself in those high areas where you'll be looking to provide and create crosses for your team. So having the correct technique to have those pinpoint passes. So a few types of fullback. So we have a traditional fullback in Jules Koundé. We have an inverted fullback in Marc Cucurella. And then we have an attacking fullback or attacking wingback in Jeremy Frimpong. Sorry. So these are three different types of fullback. A traditional fullback in Jules Koundé, inverted fullback, so Marc Cucurella in the build-up, will find himself in a midfield role. And then you have wing-back, so if you go with a three at the back, the wide players will be known as a wing-back, find themselves in high areas of the pitch to create and provide crosses and to combine with their teammates. And then on the board next, we'll have a little look and open the floor up for any questions. Cool. And then on that now, I'll open the floor up for any questions. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if there's any questions. If not, I'll just proceed to just show different sort of patterns of play in regards to what what was discussed. Yeah. I'll look in the chat box if there's anything in the chat box.
Thank you very much, Mimi. Really good session.
Good. Thank you.
Obviously still going. So what we'll do is I'll suggest some pointers. I've got some questions of my own, and like you said, if anyone has any questions, feel free to write in the chat box or unmute themselves and talk. I was just gonna ask if you can show us some of the key positions that like an inverted fullback would take up, because obviously it's quite a sort of modern context, really. Lots of people probably don't really know what that looks like. So it'd be cool if you could just show a few key positions that they would take up, a few key phases.
Cool. So say let's go. Okay, cool. Let's go with five has the ball. So essentially, what will then happen if we work back to front now? So say the 10 will then push up, and then what will then happen is you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll then have the 8 that will then also push up as well. So often more of the teams Let's go like this. If we go more, most of these teams nowadays now build up in a now then the 2 will then invert in, will build up like this in the modern day here, and then so right from the back will then shuffle over. Everyone will just shuffle over, shuffle over, shuffle over. So they'll often build up in a 3-3-2 and then 5 formation. With how modern day football works, there's a lot of sort of high turnovers and a lot of transition. So you think about teams are really doing this at a really, really good rate and a good speed. So then in terms of the build up, you still got the security of a back 3, and then you've got the security of the 2. So you always have a double pivot, and then you then have, your 7 could be quite wide. Your 11 could also be quite wide, and you could then build up like this. That will look, if you're going to invert, if the right back is going to invert, and get the annotator over. So if the right back is gonna invert, then it'll look like this. And then let me just shuffle. Okay, and then if I go, we reverse it now and go with the left back inverting, so shuffle over. It's going to look like this with the left back, and then the 6 will then shuffle over like this. So last season, Chelsea were quite notable when Enzo Fernandez was injured towards the latter part of last season. You found yourself with Marc Cucurella inverting into the midfield, and then it left with 3 defenders, 2, and then 5 attackers. Yeah, okay. And I'll just reset it back. Is that all good, Matt? All good?
Yeah, makes sense. Really good to see that. It's cool.
And then so if I reset it back here in terms of the pictures. So if we look, for example, say the 4 has the ball in possession. Let's go here. Let's pick that as the 11. Let's mark in here. If we're looking at an attacking, if we're looking at the overlaps, so the ball's here, bang. All right, cool. The 11's going to track, and let's go. Okay, call the 3. Make that a 3. Oh, 1 minute, sorry. That number 3. Side. So if we're looking at the overlaps, so as a right back is going to overlap and then try and attack and exploit the space. Exploit the space in here for the ball. Then for the 7 to invert, the 3 to follow, and then the red 11 will track, and they're aiming to try and get the ball into here for the 2 to find themselves in these areas. So as a right back, as a fullback, you may find yourself in those attacking wing back positions, okay, to build up, and then, like I said, to cross, then for the 9 to hopefully finish. Okay, if I just reset, and then it will work same as a left back as well. Go here, and what I'll do is that I'll put the 2 here, and then put the 7 here. In terms of pitch geography. Okay. Cool. All good? Sorry. Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was wondering as well, like in a defensive situation, how if you could just draw how the 8, 5, and the 2 would kind of like work together at times to defend.
Cool. Right. Let me get some images. So let's go with that would be a 4. That would be then okay, cool. So they've got the ball. So essentially now the Reds have got the ball, will then force the fullback back. It will force the blue 7 back. Okay, they'll be the nearest person to go and mark, aiming to either combine with an 8 or 11. Let's just put the 9 in there. Just build some pictures and then put the 10 here. Okay, so essentially your fullback, your your focus player to try and mark will be the red 11. Okay, the ball goes into the, so the 8 makes the run, the red 8 makes the run, the ball goes into the red 8. Again, if we're looking at the red 3 opposition, we'll try and obviously make an overlap to run, to be the outlet to then create, depending how quick or how fast or fast the blue 7 wants to trap back. So if we link back to the weekend, Tottenham's first goal, where it came from Chelsea's left-hand side, but Tottenham's right-hand side, with Brennan Johnson making a cross into Solanke, and then you saw Jadon Sancho tracking back. So here now, for a moment, you'll have a 2v1. You have a 2v1, depending how quick your teammate gets back to support you. Okay. The 5 can then make it a 2v2. So the blue 5 and the blue 2 can make it a 2v2. Okay, because the 6 will then still track the 9. Okay. And then it's a case of, if the 2 goes to the ball, it's a case whereby the track makes a run, plays a pass, and then the 11, then the 2's out of the game, 7's out of the game, and it's a 1v1. So it's like in the clips I showed you with a Jules Koundé and his midfield and his centre-back partner. It's that timing, jockeying, not diving in, and trying to dictate and deny and delay your opposition before you then get bodies behind the ball. So you now have, if we reset now, the 11, it's got the ball, red 11. Oh, sorry. The 3 was here. 3 had the ball, force them back. And then now, if the blue 7 can now get back into play, you now have a 3v2. A 3v2 situation. If the 2 goes 1v1, he's got the cover of the 7 and the 5. So it's about your teammates, and like I said, about in the roles and responsibilities, about the number 2. We're looking at a right back, the number 2 communicating with the 5, communicating with the 7, and then potentially also communicating with the 8 as well. Okay, to get back into position, get goal side, ball side. So the 7 will get goal side to protect the goal, and the 5 will get goal side because you don't want to be this side, because then you're not protecting the goal. And then vice versa, number 2 doesn't want to be behind the number 3. So it's all about, so going back to your question now, it's all about creating those overloads in your defensive favor. So it's that notion of, as soon as you lost the ball, you trap back, you get goal side. The more bodies you got behind the ball, the greater chance you've got to win the ball back in a turnover. So it'll be a case of the blue 2, the blue 5, and the blue 7 communicating, working together to get goal side, to turn essentially a 2v1 situation. Because essentially, if the 7's out of the game, the 11 can either go on the inside. If he goes on the inside, he or she goes on the inside, the 3 will go on the outside. So turning a 2v2 situation into a 3v3 situation, a 3v2 situation. Yeah?
Makes sense.
All good?
Yeah, makes sense.
Good.
Thanks for the explanation. I can see we've also got a comment, which is a good question.
What exercise?
Yeah, obviously fullback is a very up and down sort of role, lots of fitness required. So the question is, what exercises can fullbacks do to improve fitness?
Cool. If you so that was one of my main sort of key attributes for a fullback. If you're looking at with them without the ball, we look at a pitch here. You can do shuttle runs, so you can go right. Okay, I'm going to go from the edge of the goal line into the 18-yard box and then back, and then run from there to the halfway line and back. So if I illustrate it here, so you go one, back, again, then back, again, and then all the way to the oppositions, and then back. It's a bit of a blow, and then the last one you go right, cool, all the way end to end. And if you do between 3 to 5 reps of those, and that will get you blowing. And then it's a case of then cool, you can then do it with a ball, so dribbling with a ball from one end, come back, and then dribbling halfway line and back. Then you can also then work on your turns, different type of turns, and then back, and then to the opposition's 18-yard box, and then back with the ball, and then all the way to the end with the ball, and then back. Okay, that's one main one. Okay, all good? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's a good explanation, Nathaniel. Let us know if you're happy with that in the comments. Yeah, it says thanks. There you go.
Cool. Nice one. Let me try and reset the board. Cool. So I think in terms of the different explanations that I showed that I showed you on the presentation, I'm sure that I've showed you different ways in regards to how a fullback, right back or left back can play. Like I said, it's about getting yourself in 2v1 situations. So predominantly most teams go over 4-2-3-1, or a 3-5-2, 4-4-2, 4-3-3. Can you get yourself into 2v1 situations to win the ball back when you're out of possession? And then when you're in possession, thinking about who you can combine with. So combining with the 4 and then the 8, or straight combining with the 7. Like we saw the clip where Mo Salah went on the inside, and then Arnold found himself over here. So obviously Mo Salah is creating the space for Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's gone on the inside, and then Alexander-Arnold has gone on the outside overlap, then get a cross in. So it's having that good relationship with your number 5, your number 4, your number 8, and then your number 7 in terms of player relationships. And then on the flip side, like I was saying, it's having good relationships with the number 6, number 4, number 10, number 11, in terms of your player relationships. All right. Cool. Is there any other questions? Anything you want me to help to clarify? I know when we start talking about football, we can really go into detail of how much we love the game, and how we all see the game. But yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want me to clarify. Okay, all good, Matt?
Yeah, all good. Just wondering if there's any more final questions. If not, happy to end it there. That was another really good session. Thank you so much.
Nice. Cool. Nice.
Cool. Nice one.
Cool. Right, let me just.
Yeah. I was going to say, just going forward, obviously, thanks for the session, says Nathaniel. No problem at all. That's also thanks to Mimi. Thanks for another good
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Nathaniel. Thank you. Hopefully it was useful. You're right back or left back, or a full back or a wing back? Nice. Okay, I'll wait for him to reply back. But
I
yeah,
assume,
yeah, nice one.
I assume based on the question, I assume a fullback, but we'll
Yeah.
wait and see a few comments back. Yeah, all good. Thanks so much. I can see Ben Smith's on the call. Ben's taking over as the
Yeah.
managing Train Effective Academy, so you can be in contact with him, Mimi, about organizing another session. We also, I should let everyone know that we do have a 2-week break on Academy. Next week is the last week of full week of sessions, and then we have a 2-week break after that, just to let everyone know whether you're on this call now or watching it back on the recording. So yeah. Got to reply. I'm a winger, but I also like to know about other positions just in case I ever need to play that. Yeah, that's a good point. Especially as a winger, you're probably going to be asked to play fullback at some point, right, Mimi?
Yeah. True. And it's always good to also know what the opposition fullback needs to know, so how you can then outwit them, outsmart them, and then equally also know the roles and responsibilities of your teammate, your partner, your right back or your left back as well. Cool. Yeah, good. Nice one. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, happy to end it there. Thanks so much, Mimi. And
Nice one.
be in
Cool.
touch.
Thank you very
Ben will
much.
be in touch soon about organising another
Perfect.
one, probably in the new year.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.